never stopping.
Hey folks out there, how are you all today? It's Mr. Wilson J, and I have returned with something a little different. Maybe not, maybe so, I don't know. But anyway, I am here with top 10 question moments from Justice League. Now, the question, for those of you who may not know, is a DC comic book hero slash conspiracy theorist slash possible crackpot by the name of Victor Sage. Eventually, DC changed his name from Victor Sage to Charles Victor Saz, not to be mixed up with the original DC comic book villain of Batman's. Now, when I think of the question, I usually think of one particular person, Alex Jones. Now, the difference between him and Alex Jones, however, is I don't think he has the pure testosterone of Alex Jones.
We know we're under attack! We know it! We're breaking the conditioning! Ah! Ah! We're coming for you, globalist! Ah! Coming for you! Coming for you!
Totally not. But I do respect the question for a similar reason as to why I respect Alex Jones. Reason being, they always question the narrative. They always question what's originally told and put out there for the mass consumerism, or for the main people out there in the world to listen to and absorb. They go against the grain. They always ask questions. They go beyond what is thought to be reality. So I respect him for the same reason I respect Alex Jones. But today we have top 10 question moments from Justice League. This is where we are, and I'm still fooling around with it, so you can go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, and share the video so you can receive all the extra goodness. If you have any thoughts, ideas, maybe opinions about my channel to help me as an up-and-coming YouTuber, go ahead, throw it in the comment section. I'm still learning at this. I'm getting a little better slowly. But without further ado, top 10 question moments from Justice League. This is also brought to you by Kaiser Productions. Do check out their video channel. They have a lot of DC comic related stuff. Very enjoyable.
I've heard about sisters always stealing the younger one's stuff.
I'm telling you, Q, Canary's totally off her game. Think she's moonlighting? Maybe she's stepping out on Green Arrow.
The deeper mystery here is, why do you even care? Isn't this the woman who beat the snot out of you a few months back?
She got a lucky shot in. Okay, 5 or 6 lucky shots. Anyway, that's not the point.
Aha! As I suspected. 32 flavors.
See, that's the question. You know, he always digs deep and he always finds the answer to whatever issue there may be. And also his bonding and his connection to the Huntress, which I think is very interesting. It's a very nice dynamic for the both of them. She grounds him, and yet he gives her a bit more of something to be fighting for, beyond just for the sake of fighting. I think it's very good. I think it's nice. I like it.
There's something wrong here, Q. I can feel it.
I'm the conspiracy theorist, and even I don't see anything.
So, what are you wearing?
Blue overcoat, fedora,
You really stink at this.
orange socks.
Wir sind die Pfeifer van Hamelin. Wir sind die Pfeifer van Hamelin. Wir sind...
Do you have any idea what you've done?
Yes, I hunted a murderer the League's protecting.
We don't have time for this. We've got to ask the question what he just picked up and put in his pocket.
Me?
That dynamic, you know, that, hey, what question just picked up and put in his pocket? That's hilarious. You know, that's the banter. That's a lot of the banter that you'll see with the question. He'll always go against the grain and do things that's like, hey, that's a bit suspicious. But to be enjoyed all the same for sure. But, you know, that's the thing about it. That's the thing about Question. He's a cool guy. He's hilarious. And even with his trying to be conspicuous, he always seems to be just a bit beyond the ability to be inconspicuous. Or is it something else? Also, I love the dynamic between Black Canary and Huntress in all forms of media. They're always great, like especially in this and in Birds of Prey. Their dynamic, their sisterhood, and that speaks back to the comic book version of the Huntress and Black Canary. Their friendship has always been solid, and I truly enjoy it every time I see it.
What the hell is up with this bow and arrow stick?
It's not a fucking bow and arrow, it's a crossbow. I'm not 12.
I love this chick. She's got rage issues.
I don't have rage issues!
Who knows?
Ask again.
Oh. You mean this?
It's a storage key for a place down by the train station.
All right, you two stay here. Don't make me sick Black Canary on you. You've only seen her nice side so far.
Ow! What was that for?
All that crazy mystery man mojo and you couldn't even pick up a clue without being seen?
The key wasn't the clue. The key was mine. Now, this list of container ship arrivals I palmed while they were yelling at you, that's the clue.
See, that's hilarious. You know, because he tried to play it off being inconspicuous, but secretly he grabbed the clue without them even noticing. So that's awesome. But I wonder how Black Canary and Green Arrow would feel when he gets to his locker and see like some random papers or something. I don't know. But I think it's hilarious all the same.
What's with all the long faces, Justice Dweebs?
If I'm right, you're part of it. You're going to need my help. I'm going with you.
Hold your horses. No one asked for more help. This whole trip might just prove the kid shouldn't eat nachos before bed.
Peanut butter sandwiches.
How did you... What? Do you go through my trash?
Please. I go through everyone's trash.
Said like a true crackpot.
Beware my power, asshole.
Talk to me about Mandragora. What did he do to you?
You wouldn't understand.
Wouldn't understand what? That he worked for your father, Franco Bertinelli? Or that your father was himself a powerful crime boss? You were just a child.
I wonder where that scene... Well, I wonder where I heard that before.
You certainly didn't understand what your father did for a living. You just knew that when he talked, people listened. That he always had his guys around him to do whatever he said. And that the most frightening one was Mandragora. Looking into his eyes was like looking into an empty pit.
And that's where things get different, because in the film, in the Birds of Prey film, it wasn't Mandragora, it was Victor Zsasz, who was the main antagonist who killed the Bertinelli family. But you know what? I'll live.
Terrible night, Mandragora decided he no longer wished to take orders.
Get behind me, Helena. It'll be all right.
Your father hoped to protect you by hiding you in a closet.
It's coming!
But you saw it all, Helena. Stephen Mandragora killed your parents while you watched. Helplessly. Isn't that what happened?
And that is terrible. You know, even in the real live action adaptation.
One day she comes home to find her whole family in the living room. anyone and everyone with Bertinelli blood is there. Oh, and that's Stefano Galante, the guy making the play for the Bertinelli turf and fortune. When one of the goons finds the kid alive, the big softie sneaks her out of there and hides her away in Sicily.
The thought of it is just terrible. You know, even when she hands her brother the little car and or the little brother hands her the car, I'm sorry. It's just a terrible scene, you know, and it really speaks to the dynamic of loss and the fact that, okay, this happened to me. How does one get over that? How does one recover from that? I don't know.
If you knew all that, then you probably know what I'm gonna do to Mandragora when I catch him. So why help me?
That is the question.
That's another thing too, like the whole dynamic of the Huntress of DCAU. I loved the way they portrayed it in Birds of Prey. I loved the way that they gave Mary Elizabeth Winstead the sort of awkwardness yet badassery that is the Huntress. I do, but at the same time, there is a lot of depth to be explored there, you know, and in the future, I hope that DC will play into that depth. You know, like even the dynamic with the question here, there's a lot of things that could be introduced. You know, a lot of concepts that could be played into. But what do I know? I'm just some fanboy.
I go through everyone's trash.
I'll be back in a few minutes.
Always wondered what was in here. Private conference room. Original members only, yes. A place where you're free to discuss your secrets and lies.
You said something about me in the White House.
Not you exactly. Another version of you.
Stop dancing around it. Tell me what you know.
I know what you told everyone. The Justice Lords, a parallel universe version of the Justice League, came to our world to rid it of crime just as they did on their own world. With Lex Luthor's help, our Justice League managed to rout them before they could impose their totalitarian will on our populace.
True story. The events of Injustice, and Injustice 2 Gods Among Us was very close-knit to the original Injustice series, comic book series, and even the DCAU, which we're watching now, Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, played very close to the Injustice comic book variation, which I'm glad that they didn't keep it to Injustice, but what Question is talking about mainly is the storyline of Injustice, because at one point the DCAU did tie into the Injustice series, and I really like things like that when they combine the ideas and go even deeper. And again, the DCAU has potential to delve deep into it, but I don't know.
I also know what you didn't tell anyone outside of the original 7 members of the Justice League. On that other Earth, so very much like our own, a Superman so very much like you killed the president.
Injustice.
Question. No one can know about this.
Or what? You'll incinerate me too?
I'd never do anything like that.
Wouldn't you? Didn't you recently try to lobotomize Doomsday with your heat vision, just as the Justice Lord did?
That's different.
It's the same. A heavily armed watchtower with an army of proactive heroes. Luthor running for president. If it's not quite the same, it soon will be. Have you seen Amanda Waller's computer simulations?
And that plays very closely to the question's paranoia, his fear and his paranoia, because he always questions everything. So that really ties into the paranoia side of things, and he's afraid that the whatever happened to the injustice dimension is possible to carry on into the actual dimension of which he lives in, which is an honest and possible and true possibility. But I don't think a Superman in this continuity would even consider doing the things that Injustice Superman did. But hey, again, what do I know?
Batman told me about them.
Did he tell you all the models predict that a war between the Justice League and the government will devastate the planet?
We would never fight the government.
Not even if Luthor was the government?
Lex Luthor for president. Lex Luthor for president.
Predestined. Flash will die. You will kill Luthor. Armageddon. Inevitable.
Question. I'm worried about you. You're mixed up. This world isn't like the other one. We're not the Justice Lords. Those things you're afraid of will never happen here. I won't let them.
And that's what I was saying, the whole thing with the paranoia and the fear of the unknown. He doesn't know if it's the case, honestly. He's just moving on what he's afraid of happening, which is legitimate, of course. But at the same time, what would you do if you were around all these superpowered people who had the ability to destroy everything or anything that they so desired? I don't know. I'm just here kicking it with my fires and with all you folks. Go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe if you like it.
Captain Adam.
Commodore Hotel. Something wrong?
Gotta write up my fare report. So, what do you think of that corporate prepackaged pop kids like these days? Hate it?
Hey, I just said...
That's great. That is great.
I never heard of Nuvogen or Hellstrom until last night. This girl I've been seeing, she slipped it to me, said I could run with it.
The girl? Tell me more.
She's just a girl. Blonde hair, blue eyes, real farmer's daughter type.
And a handshake like a vice?
Yeah, really strong.
How long you been seeing her?
About a week.
She have bad dreams?
More like tossing and turning.
Can't sleep at night.
Well, that was rough, and that also speaks to the detective side of question. He's a damn good detective. Almost as good as Bruce.
Finally, the connection between Cadmus and Luthor. Or something better. President Luthor. No.
And what he just saw was the simulation of Superman killing Lex Luthor, who, in this continuity, is actually the president. Not in the actual world that he's in now, but in a parallel universe, the Injustice universe, he is the president. Which, if you were to pay attention to the comics and the video game, it wasn't the Flash who died, but it was Lois Lane and her unborn child who died. So you can see the severity of that. But I like the way that they let off Lois and put Flash in that picture, because it's a whole nother dynamic. And Flash in the animated series was more of the younger brother, just like in the DCEU continuity.
It's all connected. Not alternate reality.
And he literally spent days
Time
researching
loop.
this.
Luthor becomes president.
Because,
Flash is killed. Superman kills Luthor in retaliation. Superhuman arms race. Armageddon. End of the world. Inevitable. Is the future immutable? Can destiny be changed? Will they allow it?
Screening your calls? You haven't answered the phone for days. Oh, it's rank in here. Is that you?
Have to try. Alternative unthinkable.
Q? Are you alright?
Have to go. Can't let it happen again.
There are at least 6 different ways I can stop you right now.
But they all involve deadly force, don't they? And you don't do that. No, you need me. You wouldn't be much of a hero without a villain. And you do love being a hero, don't you? The cheering children, the swooning women. You love it so much. It's made you my most reliable accomplice.
Accomplice? What are you...
You could have crushed me any time you wanted. And it wasn't the law or the will of the people that stopped you. It was your ego. Being a hero was too important to you. You're as much responsible for this as I am.
Sidebar, that has to be the best Lex Luthor in any and all continuity, in my opinion. If you think the comic, or not the comic, but the animated version Lex Luthor is the best why can I not speak? If you think that the comic book Lex Luthor or the animated version Lex Luthor is the best, let me know in the comment section below. God, I really need to work on my speech.
So go ahead, fix it somehow, put me on trial, lock me up, but I'll beat it. And then we'll start the whole thing all over again.
I did love being a hero, but if this is where it leads, I'm done with it.
Oh my.
Again, what am I gonna tell my friend?
The fact that he's singing the exact same song that he interrogated the guy with, and then he's humming it in this one. Is that an actual song, or is that just like a running gag? I don't know.
Oops, I've done it. Told you how I feel. Just hope this time that our love is real.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Supergirl and Green Arrow are getting their butts practically handed to them by an older clone-style Supergirl. He's just like, hey, whatever. But hey, go off, bro.
Tell me, do you bleed?
So, sayonara, sister.
That's not the only reason, is it? You were setting up this bait even before Supergirl started asking questions. It's because the link works both ways, doesn't it? While she was seeing what you were doing, you were feeling her conscience. That's why.
Okay, I know this is a more clone version of Power Girl, who basically is an older Kara Danvers, which in this kind of we're talking about Supergirl, not Captain Marvel, but Supergirl. I think this one is a bit more complex than the original Power Girl, because there's a lot of things that could be explored here. Is this going to eventually be the actual Power Girl of this continuity? Because later on in the series, Supergirl goes to a different universe with Brainiac 9, which that's a whole nother video for a whole nother day if ever I decide to post it, but it's just me rambling, honestly.
You couldn't sleep at night, and I bet it got in the way of your work. It bites having someone in your head, doesn't it?
You don't know what you're talking about.
No? Prove it. Kill me.
And that little bit of hesitation, she was originally programmed to be evil and to do the will of Cadmus, only the will of Cadmus, but that little hesitation shows that there is more to it. And I would like to one day explore that. But I doubt that the animated universe will ever work into that. Hell, I'll doubt that the DCEU will even work towards that, but it's something that lingers in the mind. Get crushed by a Hummer. That gotta hurt.
Even the greatest of us can't compete with time.
And of that. And this is one of the more brutal scenes of the DCAU. When I say DCAU, I mean the DC animated universe of the older continuity before Justice League Dark Apocalypse, and all that other stuff. The original animated universe, in my mind, this is one of the darker moments because he's now being tortured, literally tortured, and this is how he acts.
This doesn't have to continue. I can stop you from seeing the visions at any time. You stole files from our computer. Just tell me what you've learned.
Topically applied fluoride doesn't prevent tooth decay. It does render teeth detectable by spy satellite.
Tell me what you know.
The plastic tips at the ends of shoelaces are called aglets. Their true purpose is sinister.
Like a true savage. That's one other reason why I'll always respect the question. Now, we already know that he knows in a parallel universe, Superman kills the president. And it's a possibility that he could do it in this universe. Not saying that he will, not saying that he would, but he could, in theory, you know, take out Lex Luthor, who in that continuity was the president. But there's a reason why he's not telling him what's going on. There's a reason.
Tell me what you know.
There was a magic bullet. It was forged by Illuminati mystics to prevent us from learning the truth.
Have it your way. This will continue until I break you. Perhaps even afterwards.
And just like that, folks, there you have it. Top 10 question moments from Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, the animated series, the older DCAU. Like I said before, the question is one of my favorites, which I have a million favorites of a lot of things. And he really appeals to me in a different way because he's a little different from your typical comic book hero, similar to how Arrow is different from your typical comic book hero. He doesn't really have any superpowers per se. He just has a bit more know-how in handling certain aspects of being a hero. And that's really interesting to see, and I wish I could see a little more of that in things beyond just animation. It would be great, but hey, what do I know? Also, I will be back, who knows when, who knows how, but I will be back with a new video, and I'm really looking to grow my channel because there's a lot of things that really is going on out here, and there's a lot of people who life is affecting, and I'm not talking in the best of ways. So being a subscriber, being a never stopper, and being someone who supports the movement of never giving up, never giving in, continuing to pursue dreams and pursue goals would really help me help others who really need the help. So that's why I really stress subscribing and liking and things of that sort, so my voice can get louder. And as my voice gets louder, I'll talk about different things, and the more I talk, the more you guys view, and the more things I'll be able to do as far as helping out in the community and helping out people who throughout the nation and possibly throughout the world who's really living life. And I'm not talking in a positive sense, because not everyone is happy, not everyone is cheerful, not everyone is super positive, unfortunately. And we all would like to think that the world is a positive place, and there's a lot of great and positive things about the world and about life, but at the same time, there are some things that aren't all that positive. So that's why I began the Never Stopper movement, to encourage many people to don't give up and to never stop at what they dream and what their aspirations are. And I know I'm a nobody still, and I'm just a little guy. I do have dreams beyond being the little guy, and I don't mind being a little guy, but if I can help people in a big way, that really would mean the world to me. So do go ahead and subscribe, and if you enjoy the channel, hit the like button, and also share it with your friends if you think they would be into this sort of comic book stuff, because this is a small avenue and a small tool to help out in a big way. I really do appreciate you all joining me today, and until we meet again, remember, no matter what question you may have, no matter how the world changes around you, you are awesome.